Hi, ever wonder what it's like to work another profession or live in the underworld? Listen to unsuspecting riders give a 10 to 15 minute personal masterclass as I spontaneously interview them as they enter my taxi. I'm your host, Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Yes, we've got another actor in the house. He's an intelligent guy. And we started off on a conversation and I feel I had to cut him because it's one of those conversations that you could say is a bit controversial. I'm not sure how you look at it, but it's an interesting point for those many people who are striving to be actors out there or actresses. So welcome, Alex.
Yes.
Welcome, Alex. It's nice to have you here today.
Yes, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so the question was, is it wrong if you're in America, for instance, as a British actor, and they say they need an American star or American role to be played, do you start being American from the start as you walk in, and then, or do you say you're British, and then when they say Q or whatever they say in acting, you become American?
It's a difficult one because there's two arguments to this, because ultimately you want to get the job, and that's the aim, is to get the job. So you want to walk in there with giving yourself every single tool in your arsenal possible and giving them as many reasons as you can for them to cast you. So it would make sense if you walk in straight away, even if you're not from America, you speak like you're American, act like you're American, whatever that means, or whatever that means in terms of the role they're casting. So you go in and do it American because it convinces them that you're American and they don't need to worry about anything. Because if you walk in with an accent like mine or any other accent that's not American or not the accent they want, and then you turn it on, it can give them a little bit of doubt in their mind whether you're right for it, because some casting directors may want something that's more authentic, because a lot of the way the film and TV's gone just gradually over the last 50 years, it's gone from less showy to more like real stories. So people want a lot of authenticity. So that plays a part heavily. But then, the way I see it as an actor, if you cast like that, then you give no room for actors to develop these skills. Like, actors have to develop these skills to get better and to make you believe they are this thing. But it's whether that's, if you do that before you go in, or you do that when you're in there. So I don't know. It's a weird one. It's like, yeah.
But some people may say that when you're at a casting, and keep in mind, I do not know anything about acting.
Yeah.
You are being judged from when you walk in the room, when you're seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a job interview.
Yes. So if that's the case, you've got to get into character even before you get into the room. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a little bit of that, because the main thing is, because like I said, it's like a job interview. So when you get in the room, they want to see in a very, very short space of time that you're likable, they can work with you, they want to work with you, and you can do it. So if the character's really aggressive or like a bit of a bad guy, you can't walk in being aggressive and a bit of a bad guy. You've got to show that you're a nice guy as well. So you can't just turn it on straight away. You got to turn it on when the moment's right, but then you got to have the element of the character with that American accent for that short time being really nice. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'd say to that.
But then it could be said that the accent and the mood are two different things.
Yeah.
So I can be, let's say, from, Coney Island or something.
Yeah.
I can speak like I'm that, and then they think, okay. And then when now they say, do you do the car, whatever lines, I suddenly become this angry mob, Irish mob, or whatever kind of. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So, but the accent's still there.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is I'm being in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put it that way. Yeah. In that respect. So tell us a bit about yourself. How did you get into acting? What motivates you? Acting?
Yeah, so for me, I got into acting relatively late for people who get into acting. I sort of grew up up north, didn't really know what I wanted to do for a long time. I did a bit of dancing. I did a bit of ballroom and Latin dancing as a kid.
What, ballroom dance?
Ballroom and Latin, yeah. I did it from about 14, 15 till I was about 19. And just sort of fell off the wagon a bit with life. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Went to a college open evening, saw acting. This is quite interesting actually, I'd never ever considered acting as a genuine career. Like, because you just, up north, it's just not a thing. People don't think about it as a career. It gets so, like whenever I had mates, I remember actually really vividly when I was like 12 or 13 picking options for my career. I was like, oh, I really like drama. I want to do that next year. And my mates were like, nah, it's naff, you can't do it with that, you want to pick technology. And then because all my mates picked technology, I picked technology. So I never actually did any acting until I was about 19, 20. But yeah, since then, just loved it, ran with it, and been, touch wood, pretty successful till now. Hoping it continues.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So that's how you got into it, your motivation, because every day, you're going for castings, you're doing this, you're doing that. What motivates you?
I love scene work. I love working with other people. It's because it's very much a collaboration acting, and you have to work with people and telling stories. I love telling stories. Always was obsessed with film and TV as a kid. Like, I'm a massive Superman fan. Like, my dream role is Superman. Mm-hmm. So all that sort of stuff I really love. And yeah, my motivation is it's a long game. It's a very long game for some people. It's a very short game for others. But it'll always be there. So I may not be 100% into it all the time, but it's not something you forget. It's like a muscle. You need to work it, but you'll never forget it. And you can act until you're dead, pretty much.
Yeah, because you can play the old dying man if you're old and dying anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll always be there, and I'll always be an actor until the day I die. It just may not be the one thing I do all the time, which is something I think in the modern day you have to come to terms with as an actor. Unless you get extremely lucky and start working out of the gates, it might be sort of like a second job almost. You have to sort of get another means of making money.
So you wouldn't follow the Peter Drinkle, where he just gave up his regular job and just went for acting no matter what?
I think there's some people who can go that route and will be very successful. I think there's some people who go that route to disastrous consequences. I'm very much a get up and go sort of character, so that's like my mindset. But I also realise like I want other things in my life as well. Like I want a family, I want kids, I want all that. So
that's going to cost you.
It's going to cost me. So I can't just be completely selfish and just do all that. I want to work towards other things. Acting is a huge deal for me, but it's not the be all and end all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting. What would you say that you found out that you wish you knew when you'd started acting?
I wish I knew a little bit more about the different drama schools, because when I applied to drama, I love where I went and I had a great time. I learned a lot, but I think doing more research into drama schools would have been beneficial to find out what does well where, and the fact that some people have been very successful without even going to drama school, which has been what I've learned a lot.
Okay.
And also I think if I had gone in with the idea of, if I started my own business a bit younger, if I started a business and got that going while acting was going, I could have made time more free to do things for acting. Because where I am right now, I'm trying to set up a few different things, but I'm working for like, I work for a business, I work for a company, and I get hours and I get paid by the hour, and it doesn't leave me a lot of financial time, or it doesn't leave me enough money or time to go out and do workshops, to go out and learn things. Like, there's things that you need to learn as an actor that you don't even think you need to learn, like horse riding. You see, look at all the period things you have to learn how to horse ride, otherwise like stuff like that, stage combat, TV combat, these skills that are so essential that you don't even think about.
So if you was like Jason Statham and you love combat,
Yeah, you have to learn all that.
You would be an advantage.
Yeah.
Then that's why you can get typecast, because if you know something very well and they like you, then you kind of just full in that runt.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's about the more castable you are, so the more strings to your bow you've got, the more things you can do. Like if you're a good gymnast, or if you speak a language, or if you're excellent at like combat, or if you can handle a gun. Like things like these are like stuff you don't think about, which come into play when it comes to like casting.
Yeah, that makes sense, because obviously you've got certain British people that play certain actors that play certain roles because of their background.
Yeah.
If they used to be from the streets, let's say, then they always play the criminal or the tough guy, and other people play the posh person.
Yeah.
Did you see, talking about that, did you see Hugh Grant in The Gentleman?
Yes.
I loved it.
Excellent film.
I loved him.
Fantastic film. Yeah.
He was a totally transformation.
Yeah, and that's that.
Forward into the funeral, or whatever it was, went out the window, man.
Yeah.
I loved him in that. He goes, "Oh, Barbie, can I come to bed with you?" And I come anyway. I liked him. I loved him. And he's such a great character. He done that TV series.
Yeah, it's just been it's on Sky, innit? It's with someone else who's pretty big. I can't remember.
Nicole Kidman.
Yes, that's it. I've not watched it yet. Yeah, that's my next one, I think.
I've had someone trying to get me into it. I'm not really into kind of women drama shows.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really connect with me. But it seemed quite okay at one point. I'm not sure. Maybe if I have some spare time, or I'm sick in hospital. No, probably not the best way to say it. But yeah.
If you ever get the time, if
I've got corona and and there's no more things. Who's your favourite British actor? Who's somebody you look up to?
Favourite? There's a few.
I know one of mine.
So go on, tell me yours first.
Gary Oldman.
Who was that?
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, excellent.
He's a Bermondsey guy. I'm from Old Kent Road.
Oh yeah.
I did 20 years down there, so I love him. He's from the early days when British actors were going there. Do you ever see True Romance?
No, I didn't see that one.
You need to see that.
Did you see him as Churchill in the World War II one?
I don't think I've seen all of that. To be honest, I'm not up to speed with everything, because obviously you've got so many. You've got Amazon Prime, you've got Netflix, you've got Disney Channel.
Choice is crazy at the minute.
Yeah, you just can't. You just have to say, all right, listen, I'm just gonna really watch what I really want to watch.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's real cutthroat on what you should be watching or you shouldn't be watching entertainment wise out there now.
But no, in that film, I think I can't remember what it's called, but he plays Winston Churchill during World War II, and like it's basically about how we won the war, and it's like the key defining moments of all the planning and all that, and it's so interesting. And he got the Oscar for that.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure he did. He got nominated, and I definitely think he actually won it.
Well, he should have got an Oscar by now. He's done a really good role.
Yeah, I think he's got a couple, I think.
And talking about your superheroes, he's the Batman's cop thing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's for Commissioner Gordon. That's a great film, The Dark Knight.
Yeah. I'm a DC man.
I am a DC also. I'm a DC man.
You're Superman, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know the Marvel crowds get upset.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what? I always say Marvel has copied DC, because DC's always been really dark.
Yeah.
And if you look at Marvel from when Arnold Schwarzenegger and people were playing the roles, they were more friendly, more happy, and now they've become more dark.
I'd still say they've kept the light though, and then because
they're
quite
dark,
comedy.
It's not as dark. It's hard to go that dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still got quite darker.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. It's definitely got a bit darker.
And I love the dark because it's real to life.
Yeah.
It's like the whole. If you think of the Batman, the Spider-Man, it's all suffering with a major death.
Spider-Man's Marvel, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But you know, it's Marvel owned DC anyway. You didn't know that.
Marvel owned DC?
Yeah.
I thought it was Warner Brothers owned DC and Disney owned Marvel. That's what I thought it was.
Well, maybe a bit up to more speed than me. But from what I understand, you know, the Marvel man died the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, it was this year he
died. Yeah, he died a bit ago, didn't he, recently?
Yeah. He owned DC because I can't remember how the story went, but the DC guy signed it over and just said, like, you know, do what you can with it.
Yeah.
And something along those lines. Don't quote me because
I'm not sure about this
you'd
one.
have to do your own research.
Yeah, I have to find out what happened.
And that kind of thing. So, what do you see the future for yourself? What's the future for yourself?
Future for me, I want to eventually go out to America, do that scene. Not right now though. I think because at the minute I'm very much of the mind of I'm learning my acting trade. I've been out of drama school, in the industry, doing it properly, auditioning, all that, for about 2.5-3 years now. And I have been successful in some parts, not failing, but not as successful in other parts. Got a lot of work to do, and I'm still considering myself as learning my trade in the industry, learning about myself. I just want to get better. I want to learn more. I want to meet more people. I want to travel the world a little bit through acting if I can. And yeah, just be as happy and content in being creative, but also, yeah, just enjoying life.
I just realised we didn't hear who your favourite British actor is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I've got a few. So we'll go Jude Law. I think he's phenomenal.
Okay.
Henry Cavill, mainly for the Superman connection, and I just think he's pretty cool.
Wait a minute, Henry Cavill. Yeah, he's the one who plays. The British guy.
Yeah,
you know, his brother's a Marine.
Oh yeah, I think I did know that actually.
Yeah, I used to be a Marine, so that's where that's Finn's brother. Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, those two, and I had one more, but he's gone. Clearly don't like him that much.
Okay.
But no, but they're the main two, I'd say, anyway.
Yeah.
There's one who's actually not British, American guy, Bradley Cooper. Big fan of him.
What did he act in?
He's done loads of different bits. He was in American Hustle. He was in The Hangover. He was in he's been loads of different
bits.
Which
one was he in The Hangover?
The American Sniper. He was the good-looking one in The Hangover.
Ah.
The one with the long hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, him. Because his story is actually amazing.
What's his story?
So he went to Pace Drama School, which is an American drama school. Mm-hmm. They do these episodes called Inside the Actor's Studio, where they interview really famous actors. Mm-hmm. And you can see in one of Robert De Niro's episodes, he sat down and did the interview, and Bradley Cooper asked him a question. This is like mid-90s, while Bradley Cooper's a student. And he eventually graduated, obviously got very successful, filmed The Hangover and all these amazing films, made a real career for himself, and went back and did an actor studio interview, and it was really quite a proud moment for the school and for him, and he spent the whole interview crying. And I just like the idea of it, putting all that work in and coming back to your roots to give back to where you came from. Like that mentality for me, I just think's amazing. I'd love to do, because I think about the people that helped me discover that I wanted to be an actor and wanted to do this seriously. I would love to give them something back, and also give other people around my area who, like me, didn't think acting was a real career. So like that's a big thing for me. I want to be able to do that, and that's the reason why. And he's also phenomenal in what he does. American Sniper is a great film.
That's like Denzel Washington with what's the guy who died from Black Panther.
Yes, Chadwick Boseman.
Yes, he paid for his education.
Yeah,
he didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Denzel didn't know. He just set up a charity to help people who can't afford their education in acting. And later on, so when he met Denzel, he goes, I really want to thank you for paying for my education. He said, that's why you're here. You owe me money. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good that you're, and also he's become such a great thing, even though he's passed away now.
Yeah. He was always, fighting for fighting the good fight, being
and all that stuff. So that's great and stuff.
Yeah, I think all that stuff's really important. I think there's a lot of, especially in today's day and age of social media, there's a lot of vanity and a lot of self-obsession with all this sort of stuff, and I think you've got to want to give something back in some capacity.
What acting things have you done so far? Have you done any adverts, commercials?
Yeah, I've done a lot of adverts. Not a lot, but like that's the most I've done. Like I did a couple. I did one for Cineworld Cinemas.
Okay.
I did one for a glasses company called Glasses Direct. Just little things like that. I did a little play, like a little fringe play, last year in Isle of Dogs, which is like a brand new writing, which is really good. And yeah, it's just been dribs and drabs so far. TV and film I'm yet to break into, but I've been getting auditions a little bit more regularly recently, which is nice. So yeah, that's my big focus for the year. When the year turns 2021, gonna hit a lot more workshops and just work on that, because that's what I want to work on the most.
Is there something about acting that you just don't like? That you would warn a young person that, listen, you've got to get your head around this. If you're going to come into this industry, be prepared. Yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot, to be honest. I would say save every penny you can, but also enjoy yourself. But save, you need to save money. I would say if you don't need to live in London, you don't have to live in London. But if you want to, it's great to live in London for it. I would say there's a lot of people gonna, particularly like if you go to drama school, people will tell you a lot about how it works and how you're gonna work and what you're gonna do. And not all of that will be true. Maybe some of it may be, but that's just the way because I had a lot of, not in drama school so much, when I was in university and I did like a performing arts degree at university, and I'd get given grades based on performance, and performance is a very subjective thing, and there's certain things that aren't subjective about it, but it's very subjective in some ways. And I got to a point where I started taking my value from these numbered grades, like of me. And I started to be like, oh, so this person's got more than me, which means they're better than me, which is not the way you think it. It's just one person's opinion of you. And like, there's a lot more to it. So if you're going to go down the route of drama school, doing the grades route, just always to remember that what someone gives you as a grade or thinks you are or casts you as one time doesn't necessarily mean that's you. But also, don't be deluded. Like, look at yourself, know yourself, see what you do get cast as quite a lot. You've all been cast as the same sort of thing quite a lot. That's more likely where you're going to sit in the industry, and lean into that rather than trying to be different. Okay, so if you're playing I use it as gangster example, if you always play a criminal, then just embrace the criminal. Embrace it, because that's what people are seeing you as, and that's like the sort of roles you're getting through as. Get in the industry, do a bit of that. And when you start getting a bit of a name for yourself, then you can start picking and choosing. Well, beggars can't be choosers, especially if you're just trying to get into the industry. You've got to do the graft to get your name to then start picking stuff. That's the way I see it. Yeah. Too many people these days think they can pick and choose whatever they want. It's not the case. You have to make a name for yourself first, in my opinion, and then you can start picking and choosing the sort of projects you want to do. Makes sense. Because you're going to somebody else's table. It's not your table. Exactly. So when you go to someone's house for dinner, you don't tell them, you want what's in the fridge. Yeah. You take what's on the table. Exactly. You go home. You say thank you, and you're very respectful, and yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense. That makes total sense. So yeah, so just lean into what you are. You won't be that forever. As you get older, things change. You know, you might lose your hair. You might, you know what I mean. Different things change, and it completely changes your look and your castability. You seem like you've really got your head around it. Nah. No, it sounds like you're going to be going places, God willing. Hey, I believe I'm going places. I don't know what places I'm going to, and I don't know where they are, and whether it's in the acting world or not. I hope it is, but I know I am at some point. But like, I don't think you can ever think that. Like, I don't think the concept of getting my head around acting is just so crazy. I think for anyone, I think you've got to just not. You gotta always be humble about it. I don't think I'm amazing. I'm not an amazing actor. I'm okay. I'm pretty good. I rate myself. I think I'm better than most, but there's a lot of people who are better than me. So you're developing all the time as people. So you meet people and you learn off them. Exactly. You take little pointers. I like that about him. I don't like that about him.
etc., etc.
Yeah, and it's also not so much like I don't like that about him. It's just that he does that way, and that works for him. But that wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just. You know what I mean? Some things that I can do that other people can't, and there's something that some people can do that I can't do, and that's just the way of the world. And that's that's what makes it all different, and why it's
What are you leaning into now? So you spoke about embrace what you're given. So what would you say you're leaning into now?
So I tend to get cast as like generally like a romantic lead male thing sort of style. I can see why though. I can see why.
I'll
take it.
Be like that,
Thanks, man. But that's what. So I'm just trying to lean into that a bit. So like trying to get in a lot better shape than I was before and stuff like that, and just to develop the accents and stuff that are gonna help. Like the American accent, the British accent, those things. Because I'm being a northern boy, my face, castability wise, like unless you know me, and if you don't know me, that my accent and my face may not align.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had more of like a proper British accent or an American accent, you'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, you've got a proper British accent. It's just the northern.
Yeah, but like what?
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like the Americans see it as like a proper British accent. Do you know what I mean?
Have you noticed, is this something I've noticed, I don't know if you agree with me, that more and more Americans are trying to play British roles now?
I think it's the opposite way.
Don't get me wrong, British always playing American roles.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is that you've got more Americans. Right, do you ever see a movie called The King?
The King? No, I've not seen that one.
That's a period thing about King Henry. Really good, love it. I'm an ex-military, so I love the battle scenes and everything.
Yes.
But the guy in there is American who plays King Henry when he's young, like a teenager. And the way the guy, what's this? There's a vampire film that was something of was it the 90s or something?
Was Gary Oldman in that one, or?
No, Gary Oldman wasn't in that one. But this other guy plays he's American, but he plays the British accent so well.
Yeah.
I had to like look sideways, like double take. Really? Yeah. It's like Johnny. You know Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Johnny Depp when he plays Cockney.
Yeah.
Or what's the other American guy? The guy with Marvel with the thing on his chest. Iron Man.
Yes.
When he plays the British Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He does that very, very well.
Yeah. There's a few that are excellent.
Yeah, and they're coming up.
Yeah.
As in, before you'd be like, no, you're just in a British outfit speaking of American accent.
Yeah.
And now they're actually conforming, or they're understanding. If that's what I've noticed, and I just wondered if you'd noticed the same thing.
I haven't really noticed that so much. To be fair, I don't watch as much film and TV as I should. I should watch more. I try and watch more, but I just either being busy or I've got other things I'm doing. But like I should watch more, but I haven't actually noticed that myself.
Do you think you need to watch more as an actor, or do you just need to do what you're doing? Because I watch it as entertainment, but it's like it's what you do. So
it's an interesting one, because there's things that you should always be in the know. You should always be up to date. You should always know, because you could get a call at any time from a casting director, and you should know what that casting director has cast, and then you should know about what's going on. I see what you mean. Because then if you're up to date, you know what's going on. You're more prepared, more well equipped. It means you care. It shows a lot in the room. You seem a bit more educated about it, which means you're on the ball, and people like it when you're on the ball, because time is money.
And there's also ego on the casting director and the director himself. It's like, you don't know who we are? Or?
Not so much that. It's just about everyone likes their ego being stroked, so they like it when you're nice to them and you know what they've done, and you can give them a little pat on the back. They'll always like that.
Okay.
But not a pat on the back. That's the wrong word. But like if you're always nice and knowledgeable and you know them, they're always going to prefer that to if you didn't have a clue. Especially if they're like done some big things.
Okay.
So
it's been great talking with you.
Yes, and yourself. Thank you for having me.
Two last things. What's the impact you want to have on the world?
I want to help people. I want to inspire people, and I want to do that performing.
Okay. In case there's any big directors or script writers and they like what they hear, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Alexander_Hackett, and I think that's pretty much it.
Do you want to spell that out just to make sure?
Yep, Alexander, ALEXANDER _Hackett, HACKETT.
Well, thanks for that.
Thank you very much, my man.
Much appreciated. And we wish you well. We hope you liked that interview. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to get the latest daily episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economy and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources? Then listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you will hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m.